TMCnet at AstraCon 2008.
Say good afternoon to all of you, and thank you again for attending AstraCon this year. I think this is turning out to be a fantastic show, and I'm having a great time interacting with everybody from the community. I'm Steve Sobel. I'm the software product manager, or product manager for software products at Digium. And I'm here to talk a bit to you about some upcoming developments that we have within the Asterisk environment, the Asterisk universe. We're in the process of planning out and launching a marketplace, which, to be honest, if I was to give a simple metaphor, it's a lot like iTunes for your Asterisk, or the App Store for your iPhone for the Asterisk. This is sort of following on what Mark talked about this morning, and then I'll go into some detail on it, where Asterisk has sort of migrated over the years from being the PBX, being the phone system, being just a basic call switching mechanism, to becoming a platform or an application server, if you will, for telephony applications. Where a few years ago, what people bought or downloaded Asterisk for was to build up a basic voice switching system. Now people are downloading and using it as the basis for really advanced IVR solutions or unified communication solutions that integrate deeply into their business processes, or extremely large-scale voicemail solutions. So there's an enormous variety of applications that are being built on top of Asterisk. So let's take a little bit of a look at Asterisk as a platform.
Originally, again, the most popular PBX in the open source world has become probably universally the most popular development platform for telephony. It simply provides so many features and functions out of the box that you don't have to reinvent the wheel again and again, building your own SIP stack and building your own PSTN interfaces or talking directly to the driver layer. So all of that is great. What are some of the other things here? Well, it's the basis for thousands of custom telephony applications, and nowadays the buzzword seems to be unified communication solutions. So taking communications and tying it deeply into business processes and picking multiple modes of communication. Letting people choose voice, email, IM, text, chat, whatever they want as the mode of communication. And Asterisk is great as the sort of glue that holds all of that together. And so what are we trying to do? We're trying to produce a means of making applications simple, portable, easily brought into to various markets. And so let me talk for a moment about some of the challenges and how we expect to face them. By the way, if there's anybody who came in here who was expecting Tony Lewis, I will have to pause for a second and apologize. Tony sent us an email end of last week or beginning of this week saying he wasn't going to be able to make it. So I'm filling in. If there's anybody looking for how to sell PBX solutions, I'm not the guy to ask that one. Although I'm more than happy to introduce you to people who are good at that. That out of the way. So some of the key challenges for building a telephony platform include providing a means for portable applications. You create an application and it's not simply built to the one machine that's been hand compiled, but it's built so that you can simply install it just like you'd install Word on a Windows machine or Firefox on a Mac on any Asterisk machine that's out there in the field. Building against a fixed Asterisk API. And for anybody out there who's going, yeah, that's a big problem. Well, we've heard you. We've had a lot of people say, hey, the Asterisk API changes significantly from revision to revision, and we have things that work in one version that don't in another. Now, we certainly can't guarantee 100% backwards compatibility. We can't lock ourselves into, the Asterisk circa 2003 or something. But what we can say is that where it's possible, we're going to provide for backward compatibility in our APIs, and where it's not possible, we're going to make it
really clear as what has to be done to port forward to the next version. So we're committed to working with developers to make Asterisk a more pleasant platform to develop on, especially as we iterate into the future. We're also looking at the challenge of marketing the applications that you create to potential customers. Right now, if you go out and look on the web, you'll probably Google up thousands of separate Asterisk applications, some of them very complex, some of them extremely simple, but they're spread all over the universe. You'll find them referenced in the VoIP Info Wiki. You can find some of them referenced in mailing list postings that have gone to Asterisk users or Asterisk biz. central location where you can go to say, where do I find a dialer that is designed specifically to do political campaigns? Or where can I go to find a call center system that's designed to handle strictly outbound call centers? Now, there's a long list again of applications, but finding them has been difficult. And so part of building the marketplace is about giving all of these applications a home, a place where you can go find them. Another challenge is application delivery and installation. Right now, in a lot of cases, Asterisk application installation is a matter of copying some scripts into XE Asterisk and copying some binary modules here and there, adding a database, going in and running some SQL scripts to create the tables for that database. And what we want to do as we move from application to application server is to make the packaging and delivery of Asterisk applications that much easier, so that it becomes just another application like you install on any other system. Licensing is also a concern, especially for those who are doing commercial applications. Asterisk has a number of interfaces which do not cross the GPL boundary, so you could write code for them right now, but if you want to put any kind of licensing restrictions, or to use the evil buzzword, digital rights management on top of it, you really have to build your own. Well, Digium's already solved that problem once, and what we'd like to do is produce an SDK that allows you to take what we've created and use that to solve your problems as well. Give you the ability to create an application, add licensing, control code to it, compile it, and then distribute it. So we'll be working on that aspect. Also, payment gateway. In a lot of cases, you can create an application, but your ability to sell it is limited to what you have available as a web store. And there's a commercial, what's the term I'm looking for? Fulfillment providers that offer the ability to deliver code, but usually they charge a fairly exorbitant percentage, and there's something you have to pay on top of your existing marketing costs. So what we want to do is come up with a way of making all of these things seamless to both the developer and to the end user. So I'll talk a little bit about two of our approaches. And to be honest, at that point, I'm going to be out of slides. I spent a lot of time working on the presentation for this morning. So at that point, we'll talk a little more candidly and open it up to the floor. Let's talk about the Appliance Platform that we've been discussing. This morning, we announced Asterisk now 1.5 and 2.0 on the way. So this is an all-new version of our easy-to-install appliance. Take a CD, drop it in the CD tray, boot the machine up, answer 3 or 4 questions, and you've got an entire Linux operating system computer built up with Asterisk and also with all the other components. It's built from well-known and well-tested components as well. So this isn't something that's been thrown together. It's using CentOS Linux 5.2, which is a clone of Red Hat's Enterprise 5.2 package. So it's received the full set of testing that Red Hat gives it, as well as testing from thousands of additional users out in the field. It's using Asterisk 1.4 currently, but we're making plans to make 1.6 available as an upgrade. It also uses the new Donnie package, which is our replacement for Zaptel, which has a number of enhancements and also is politically correct. I think we had some sort of trademark issue with Zaptel. So. We also have included in this edition the free PBX user interface, which has become probably the most popular UI for an Asterisk system. It isn't necessarily the answer for everything Asterisk, but it's a good starting point for those who really want to work with a set of configs that are pre-built for them, to be able to go in and create things through a graphical user interface rather than a command line or in a text file. And it's a great place to kind of discover the power of Asterisk without having to become an Asterisk guru. However, all of Asterisk is still there and still underneath, and there's absolutely no requirement that you use the free PBX interface if what you want to do doesn't match with the interface's capabilities. Further, with the free PBX interface there, you're actually able to build a graphical user interface of your own, GUI if you're building an application, which snaps into or attaches to the free PBX interface. So, there are a few options. That's not to say that our original Asterisk GUI is in any way gone. That's also available as an add-on package. And it's still the very lightweight framework that many of you have probably experienced so far. We're also including MySQL's Community Edition database, which underlies the free PBX user You have your choice of languages for doing application development, doing CGI development, etc. It also includes the Young Package Management tool, which is a really nice feature to add on to a platform, because instead of having to update by downloading source code, manually compiling it, installing it, testing it, and then going to each one of your machines and doing roughly the same thing, you create an RPM package as a developer, you host it, or pardon me, you post it to the application repository that Yum draws from, and when somebody types Yum update, they get the latest version of the code, or at least they optionally can select the latest version of your code. So it makes the installation and rollout process much easier. So the other thing that we're announcing in terms of platform components is the Asterisk now as packages. So instead of just being the ISO that you drop into the CD tray, boot up and start, it's also going to be available as a series of Linux native packages. So that means you'll be able to get Asterisk as .rpm files for Red Hat, you'll be able to get it as .deb files for Debian, and frankly those are the two primary distribution systems that are used for Linux. That probably covers 95% of the Linux boxes out there today. There's little bits of differentiation between different versions, but it's relatively minor. So we also, just to give you a list of the distributions that we support, we've got Red Hat CentOS 4 and 5. We've got Ubuntu's long-term support version. We've got Novell's SUSE and also OpenSUSE. And we're also using Debian 4.0 Edge. And this will be available in both 32 and 64-bit versions. Tells you anything about how old I am. I almost said 16 and 32-bit versions. So that, I guess, something that's a great advantage of all this is that if you're building an application and you want to pull down the source code for a particular version of Asterisk that's been installed, it's not a matter of guessing or trying to figure out which subversion, revision, or digging around looking for tarballs. You install the source RPM or source Debian file for it, and you actually wind up with the exact source that was used to build that version of Asterisk, or that version of .e or libpri, etc. So these are the mechanics of it. What I didn't get a chance to get to are the slides on the business components of it. So I guess what I'll do is sort of go extemporaneous. The next piece of this would be the business layer. And what the Jim's looking to do is get input from the community as to what you need in order to succeed building applications that run on top of an Asterisk platform. We've already come up with some of the basics of it in terms of the distribution mechanism, in terms of the payment gateway mechanism, the licensing. But we need to know from the community how you feel about this and what you'd like to see and some of your requirements on it. So, does anybody have any further questions about the physical side of this first? Yeah, apps package will be available within Ubuntu and any of, I'm not sure if we have any Ubuntu, well yeah, Debian and Ubuntu are sort of related, and we'll be supporting apps for both of them. So.
I did see web server.
Yes, actually the Apache web server is also included as part of the Asterisk Now distribution. Probably in the next 2 weeks. We've actually got an alpha version that's available in the code zone. If you'd like to come down and take a look at it, we'll be doing a rollout of that sometime this afternoon. Okay, so on to the business components of this. So far I've talked about Asterisk Now. I've talked a little bit about the marketplace. Another piece that we're looking at is A2M, Asterisk Application Manager. A2M is to the marketplace what, I guess, the App Store is to Apple's iPhone Developer Initiative. We want to make it very easy for people to not only find the packages that they want, but do a single-click download and install, do a single-click purchase, or actually, I guess we have to do more than one click, so Amazon doesn't come get us. But make it as simple as possible for people to install applications on their Asterisk system. The goal is to produce a client that is, or pardon me, a web-based interface that allows users go select a set of packages, say I want to purchase these or I want to demo these, hit download. Their Asterisk server will then remotely connect, download the appropriate packages. It will also download a license file from Digium's licensing servers. Part of this is, of course, for Digium, but we're opening this program up to the development world. So we want to see as many innovative applications as people can create. So the goal is to create two sides of it. The Asterisk Forge, which is open source, and the Asterisk Marketplace, which is the commercial side of it. If you want to develop GPL software that people can download and install on their Asterisk, you'll go through the Forge to create and upload your application packages, put them in, add a description, and there they'll be, available to everybody. This is great in some cases because it circumvents the slow process of getting your code incorporated directly into Asterisk. I don't know if any of you guys out there have ever put a patch into our bug tracker, but it can take several months to several years, depending on how complex the patch is, before it flows into mainstream Asterisk. Using this mechanism, you'll be able to create your system, your code, upload it, and people will be able to start using it and giving you feedback on it instantaneously. On the commercial side, the process will work very similarly, except that in that case you get to set the price, you'll get to set the licensing terms that go with it, and you'll be able to actually collect revenue on the applications you've created. Again, very much like the iTunes sort of mechanism that Apple has. So does anybody have any questions about this piece?
Do you have any concept of how much you're going to charge developers?
Now, I'm afraid we haven't quite gotten to the point of coming up with numbers. We're still sort of polling the development universe to see what the market will bear. Okay,
Can you give in your mind's eye what the vision for a scenario is, like how the store works in general?
Sure. To give you an example that's fairly easily accessible to everybody, you install an Asterisk box and you decide, oh, I want to use the G729 codec with this particular system. So you'd be able to open up the interface for this, select G729, say buy, it'll say what system, how many channels do you want and what system do you want it to go to. And it will generate the license file and it'll open up a download connection. Your Asterisk will come, pull that stuff out, install it using just typical Yum if you're on a Red Hat-based system, or apt if you're on a Debian-based system. The installation will take place, the license file will be copied into place, and your system will start up and go, hey, I've got G729 installed. That's a fairly simplistic example, since there's no user interface or real configurations required for it. But that's probably the most simple I can give. Of course, somewhere along the line, the customer is going to have to break out a credit card and actually put some money in for that. But it simplifies the process to one where it's something that's just like buying socks from Amazon. How many people out in this crowd are developers actually would be producing Asterisk applications? How many are consumers who would be downloading Asterisk applications? How many are Asterisk solution providers and would want to be able to set up a box to sell very quickly and easily? Okay, yeah. So I think that this is going to be a good opportunity, not only for Digium, but for everybody out there who's building stuff on top of Digium. And that's what we want to be. We're really in the process of inventing a platform business as well as our existing PBX business for the Switchbox side of the house, card business. The last piece that I want to bring up is commercial support, which is something that people have been asking for quite some time. For the longest time, we've provided direct support, phone support for our cards, and we've been providing support for Asterisk in the form of business editions the last few years. But people keep saying, hey, I'm not to the point where I need to license something to build an OEM solution. I'm not building quite the way you need, or my requirements don't actually call for a business edition. I'm using open source, I'm happy with open source, but boy, I sure wish I could get just a backstop. I could I get a phone number where I can call and somebody will either help me with my configuration issues, or if I discover a bug, will help me get that bug submitted, working through the system, and hopefully patched as soon as possible. And that's what we really want to offer with this. It's going to be sold on a subscription basis. I don't have any numbers for you in terms of prices, but the idea is that someone will be able to simply go to the website or go to their Digi reseller and purchase a support subscription for an Asterisk device, Asterisk box, and they'll have a year to make phone calls to us, ask questions, send us emails and get web or email responses. And also we're looking at rolling in additional services. So backup and restore. If you want to do an off-site backup of your configuration, you'll be able to do it. Also monitoring. So if you're releasing systems into the field, you're building solutions for customers, and you want to know if their system goes offline or goes down, we're going to have a service that will provide that as well. Do we have any questions about that? That's okay.
Is it possible to have a subscription basis associated with a person who's providing support for multiple entities rather than per device?
So a named contact kind of issue rather than a on-the-box issue. It's possible. We might need to look at offering both models, because there's some people where it's going to be their box, they're the customer, they've purchased it, they're the end user, and they want this box to be supported. Whereas if you're a solution provider, you want to have basically just backstop and upstream support. So that's the kind of support that you're looking for. Okay. These are all good points, and this is why we haven't rolled anything out yet, because we're looking for input.
We're a solution provider. If we bought a subscription, would that cover multiple boxes we have at different locations? Or would you buy a subscription per?
Well, if you're a solution provider and you're building Asterisk-based solutions for other customers,
Yes, we're building it like a PDF replacement, building it, selling time, consulting fees to set it up.
okay.
So we would have, we currently have 7 systems out at customer sites. Would we need a subscription for each box, or?
I think the answer to that depends on how much hands-on you want to have with the customers post-installation. If you want somebody who can provide the Asterisk support for that box, then you would probably purchase a solution or a subscription for that actual box. If you simply want to be able to call up and talk to our tech support, ask questions, and get backstop support, then it would probably be an enterprise subscription for you as a solution provider.
I think.
Any other questions out here? Okay. Well, that's really the basics of it. Jim, did you have anything you'd like to add at this point? Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time, and enjoy the rest of Astricon.